How's it going? Today, we're going to learn how to put double jumping in our worlds. Great news is, it's dead simple. All we're going to need is an empty game object with the double jump script attached to it. For those that would like a prefab, we have that in the description, and for those who want to script it themselves, fire up Unity, and let's get to it. Now that we're in Unity, go to the hierarchy, right-click, create empty. Rename the empty to Double Jump Manager. Go to its inspector, select Add Component, then search for Udon Behavior. And that's about it for our Double Jump Manager. Now let's write the Udon graph script. Go to your Assets folder. Right-click, create, VRChat, Udon Graph Program Asset. Rename the script to Double Jump Script. Then open up the graph. Let's begin by making our variables. Go to your Variables tab, hit the plus icon, then search for Float. Rename the float variable to Jump Multiplier. Plus icon again, then search for bool. Rename the bool variable to Double Jump. Plus icon again, then search for vector3. Rename the vector3 variable to velocity. After that, plus icon, then search for bool. Rename the new bool variable to script enabled. Go up to the jump multiplier, hit the dropdown, and select public. Then, select compile. And that's it for your variables. As for our actual script, I went ahead and separated it into 3 groups. If you like to make a group for yourself, right-click, create group. Then double-click the name and rename it to whatever you like. If you're done with the group, select it, then hit delete on your keyboard. Oh, come on, baby, don't be that way. Let's begin by filling in the first group. Hit the spacebar, then search for Event Input Jump. Hit the spacebar again, and search for a branch node. Hit the spacebar, then search for Boolean. Under Boolean, search for conditional AND. Next, drag and drop the script enable bool variable onto your graph. Then connect it to the conditional AND node. Then connect the bool value from the input jump into the conditional AND node. And that's it for the first group. Let's work on our second group. Hit the spacebar, then search for a branch node. Spacebar again, and search for Player API. Under Player API, search for Is Player Grounded? Then spacebar, and search for Networking. Under Networking, search for Get Local Player. Then, go to your double jump bool variable, hold down Control, and drag it onto your graph. It should say Set Double Jump. Connect the Set Double Jump node to the true branch of the branch node. Then hit the spacebar and search for Boolean. Under Boolean, search for Construct Boolean. Set the bool as the value of the set double jump node. Then, set the bool's value to true. Hit the spacebar, then look for a branch node. Connect the new branch node to the false branch of the old branch node. Drag and drop the double jump bool variable onto your graph and connect it to the branch node. And that's about it for group number 2. As for group number 3, start by selecting the velocity variable. Then hold down Ctrl and drag it onto your graph. It should turn into a set velocity node. Hit your spacebar, then search for Player API. Under Player API, search for Get Velocity. Next, spacebar, then search for Networking. Under Networking, search for Get Local Player. Hit the spacebar again, then search for Player API. Under Player API, search for Get Jump Impulse. Hit the spacebar again, then search for Float. Under Float, search for Multiplication. Next, drag and drop the jump multiplier float variable onto your graph. Then, connect it to the multiplication node. Next, connect the Get Local Player node to the Get Jump Impulse node. From there, spacebar, then search for Vector 3. Under Vector 3, search for Set Y. Next, drag and drop the velocity variable onto your graph, and then connect it to the instance of the Set Y node. From there, connect the multiplication node to the value of the Set Y node. Hit the spacebar again, search for Player API, and under Player API, search for Set Velocity. Drag and drop the velocity variable onto your graph, then connect it to the velocity of the Set Velocity node. From there, connect the Get Local Player node to the instance of the Set Velocity node. Next, select a double jump. Hold down Ctrl, and then drag it onto your graph. Hit the spacebar, then search for Boolean. Under Boolean, search for Construct Boolean. Connect the bool to the value of the Set Double Jump node. Then, leave the value as 0. And that's about it for group number 3. So what we're going to do next is we're going to connect the groups to themselves so the script works. So we'll start with group number 1 and connect it to group 2. So drag the true branch from the branch node in group 1 to the initial branch in group number 2.
Then, with the second branch in group number 2, we're going to connect the true branch to the set velocity node in group 3. So now that our groups are connected, you're going to come to the script enabled bool, hit the drop down, and select the default value. You're going to turn it to 1. Then we're going to compile. And now the double jump is enabled. So let's go ahead and apply this script to our double jump manager in our scene. And we're going to drag and drop our script into the program source. And the jump multiplier value is usually going to start off at 0. I have it at 2. 2 is a good value. And let's go ahead and hit play. So let's try out our double jump. Looks pretty good.
So let's go over the Udon. For group number 1, when we press the jump button, there's an immediate check to see if we're pressing the jump button and that the script is enabled. If those conditions are met, we go to group number 2. In group number 2, the script checks if we are on the ground or in the air. If we're on the ground, it sets the double jump bool to true. If we're in the air and the double jump bool is set to true, we then go to group number 3. In group 3, we start by setting the velocity of the local player to their current velocity. Then, we calculate a new velocity for the local player along the y-axis by using the product of the jump impulse float and the jump multiplier float. Then we apply that velocity to the local player and we get our second jump. After that, the double jump bool is set to 0, and we're back to square one. So there you go. Double jumping is as simple as that. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope this video was helpful too. See you on the next one.